Welcome to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I'm your host, Darrell Scott, and together we will dive into the lives and careers of the jazz legends who have left a rhythmic imprint on the world. Be prepared to reminisce on the highs and the lows of their musical journey and the trials that sculpted their timeless musical gems. We'll preserve the legacy of these extraordinary maestros and find inspiration in the melodies of their lives. Subscribe now and never miss a beat. Now, let's get to the show. Welcome to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I am Darrell Scott. Our guest today is a man. I've known this music for quite some time. I am superstitious, but he's just released his 13th. I call it project because I don't know whether to call them albums or call them CDs. I figure I can't lose if I just say call them a project. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Taylor. Paul, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks once again.
Not a problem, sir. There's certain people you look forward to just having a conversation with, and you are one of my favorites. So, to begin, I want to talk about this thing. I read a bunch of stuff on you. In one thing, you say this latest project begins a new cycle for you. What exactly do you mean by that?
Let me go back and see what I was meaning with myself. I think just in the fact that it was that this is like just each project is kind of in itself a new cycle, and maybe like the phase of my life, the 13th one. So after it's been a lot in 13th time doing this, so it's like a new cycle. I'm getting a little older, and I just feel like I was on my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever, all the way through. So it's just the enlightenment and optimism that I bring to the project, and and definitely the songs enhance that and kind of have the spirit of that, like the optimism. That's why I listening to the way the songs flow and what we did with them, and then henceforth the titles, thought like it's a brand new day, so like a new thing like that.
Kind of like a new beginning. It's like, when we were kids, you change at 20, you change at 30, you change at 40, you change at 50. So you still got a ways to go because I'm sure you're not 50, but that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about this process. I'm always amazed. I consider musicians geniuses. You've done 13 different projects, and we'll say on an average 10 songs per project. That's 130 songs. That does not indicate the number of songs you have in that file cabinet to your right that have other songs that you haven't finished, that you haven't recorded, and stuff like that. So it could be, 200-300 songs. How do you keep the creativity flowing and going, or change, or adapt? How do you do that?
Well, Darrell, I think it's fortunately for me, I can only speak for myself. It's not really super difficult, in the fact that I love what I do, and I've been living my dreams for many years doing this since the first project. I'm like, oh my God, the first one, you get the first one, and like, man, you climb that mountain to get the first one out, and then the second one, like you hope there'd be a second one. So, and then the second one happens, and then then there's a little bit of a break, a little bit between, maybe 3 years between the second and third. So I thought, maybe this, we'll see, hopefully keep it going. And the third one happened, then the rest of them just kept going boom, 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 boom. So again, for me, like, this is why I've have affinity to do music, since, probably like late junior high and then into high school, like getting into the jazz, like for my mentors, listening to that, like, um, David Sanborn, Ronnie Laws, all those super groups back in the 70s, Earth, Wind and Fire, and then like Patrice Rushen. And you know what? In fact, we were talking earlier about War, the group War. My
Mm-hmm.
first vinyl record, I was given at one of the Christmases. I was still like, even like just maybe pre-teenager, was War, Deliver the Word. I don't know if you're
Deliver the
familiar
word.
with that. Deliver
Yes,
the
sir.
Word. I love that record. And I think does it have Me and Baby Brother on it? I'm
Yes,
not
it
sure.
does. Me and baby brother. Dun, dun,
So
dun.
like later on, like several CDs ago, I just looking back at difference, like, man, that'd be like a unique song to cover. And so I covered that song, Me and Baby Brother. And just for the fact that I always loved that song, and that's all that matters. If you like on a cover song, if you like it, you should, if you have to love to redo it and kind of put your own spin on it. But anyway, about that album, I think the title track, Deliver the Word, it's one of those long, it's like a
Yes.
over 10-minute song, and it
Yes.
just has a nice, it just like kind of evolves, but it just has that nice, like, it just like you can just listen to it and just like, do something else or drive or whatever, and just has a nice pedestrian and nice beat to it, and just like, I'll never forget that. And so, I
Well,
have that back, I keep all my vinyl. I still have all my vinyl. I let a good friend, he's a DJ. He asked me, Paul, let me see what the records you got. And then he kind of perused through all my vinyl. And so, I let him take some, because he's a real connoisseur. I'm a connoisseur
mhm.
too, but like some of the ones that like, whatever. I let him have some. I gifted some of those to him, but some of my favorites, I was like, nah, you can't have those.
No,
A
you can't
couple,
have that. You
but
can't have that.
yeah, like so circling back, like War, my inspiration, I always have inspiration to do more. I love music and just like I think it and breathe it. And even when I'm not in that mode, like driving or whatever, and shopping in a store, when I hear music and something like just something I like, it doesn't matter what the genre is. If I like it, I'm gonna pay attention to it and stop my tracks for a second and like, wow, like what is that? And that's kind of cool. I don't know what I like about it, but I like it. Then get my phone. I'm coming through my phone right now, so get my phone out and push the record and just capture it and see like what or else I'll look it up. I'll go SoundHound and
Hmm.
see what it is, see who's playing it.
You on this latest record, you do a song by Billie Eilish. What determines whether or not you're going to cover a song? And Billie's kind of new. It's a different sound, but it's on your record. And don't get me wrong about I'm not great with pronunciations. It's Chichiro is what it's called.
Shihiro,
Chihiro.
Shihiro.
Chihiro. Why did you pick that, or why do you pick any covers at all?
Well, Darrell, on that particular song, um, first like Billie Eilish when she's been on like maybe 3, 4 years.
Right?
Like when she came out, like just like wow, she's what a great artist, and so original in her sound, in her approach, like kind of like she's not like like belter, like powerhouse singer.
Right.
It's like a very lithe and just like almost like not whispering, but just like it's not like powerhouse vocals, but that's the beauty of it in the fact like the way her melodies and way she writes, and it's just a whole nother thing of its own. And I saw that right off. And so wow, she's very, very original artist. And so I think it's on her second album, maybe. I'm not sure, maybe her first album, that song. And so I thought, I heard that song one day and like doing like out and about. And so like that's a really good song. What's Billie Eilish? And then like the chorus. Dun, 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 dun. I thought that spoke to me like playing me maybe on my soprano. And so and then going to your other part of your question, so basically I love Billie Eilish. I love the song, period. I have to really love the song, which I did and do. And then The second thing, what makes me want to very important factor in covering it is like it has to lay right on the horn.
Hmm.
And I think only a sax player would know this, but it just like say like I start playing it, it just has to lay right on the horn. Like for me like on sax, obviously it's not singing, it's instrumental, but there
Hmm.
can't be like in any given song, there can't be too many repeated notes because repeated notes, at least for me, anyone else have at it and have your own qualifications, but it just has to lay right. It just has to lay right so it inspires me to play it. And so if there's too many repeated notes, da 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 da, it just I can't do much with that. And a couple here and there is fine, but and so it just has to lay right on the horn. And then if it does, then it's got promised to me to cover it.
It is in the short time that we have talked. I think one of the coolest things would be to hang out with you as you are going through record stores or going to places where there are music, just to watch your reaction, to see whether or not you go, you know what, I like that tune. I think I'm going to cover it. You know what, I can't do this because it's got too many things. I think that's one of the neater things about hanging out with a musician or a person who is of music, because you get a totally different perspective from where you are to where I am. It's just different. All right, we've talked about this Billie Eilish tune. Why don't we just play a little clip of it here on the Jazz Flight Podcast with our special guest, Paul Taylor. We're back on the Jazz Flight Podcast. I am Darrell Scott. He is Paul Taylor. Paul, you started out like a house of fire. Plant Maxi Priest, Regina Bell, Peter White, Michael Linton, the Rippingtons. Rippingtons was a short stint because I thought I remembered every person who ever played with that band. What did you gather from from all the people that you have played with, played on, whatever? What did you learn a lot from these folks?
Absolutely, Daryl. Each, obviously for me, each one, it's on its own terms, each person. So everyone brings their own vibe to the table, just being themselves and, us coming into contact, overlapping, crossing paths, whatever, however you want to say it. So absolutely, like just, it's not, you don't learn the same thing from each one, but I think in common, everyone has their artist, they're an artist and like, just like I'm an artist, and so we definitely have things in common being artists and creatives. So, and then everyone has their own peculiarities, and you'll after a while you're playing with a person, you see the idiosyncrasies, as well as they probably see mine as well. So you just see each person on their own terms, and to see like this here I'm here with the guy, I'm here with the lady, right, the person right now, like this is they're right there, like living and vibing with them right now. This is like they're just what, and the common denominator, just like a person just like anybody else. We put our pant leg on one at a time, put our socks on, whatever, and so that just brings it down to normal. So that's it, just basically like just a humanity thing, just like everyone's like a common ground. I will say, like, when I crossed paths with Maurice White, like, okay, my third CD called Undercover,
Hmm.
I got to work with the great Maurice White, the late great Maurice White, rest in peace. And so I got to go like down to Santa Monica, where his studio was at, and write and record right there. And he had Bill Myers, his kind of right hand man at the time, and did a lot of stuff with Earth and Fire himself, and great arranger, arranger and composer keyboardist Bill Myers. And so we were going through it. So working with Maurice, like I was like totally, of course Maurice White, like Earth and Fire. That's like probably the best band of all time. up there, Coldplay, Maurice White, the Beatles, and all that, all the great bands. So I was definitely starstruck, definitely with Maurice, probably more than anyone else. So I was still like, but there's still, as I said, there's still commonality, we had, and just the nicest guy. And like, I could just see the stuff he would say to me, how he would respond to me, to the music we were playing and how I was playing. And just like, it wasn't a lot, just was like, but those little nuggets he would say were just like jewels, like, try this, do this. So like, we're going to do this over here. Try that over here. Hey, go back to this part here. Hey, Bill, go over here and do this. Hey, let's put this together here one by one over here. Little things like that. So that's what I got.
So when you walk in, you meet Maurice White. I'm guessing, just me thinking out loud. I'm guessing there's a little bit of, we'll call it awestruck. When does the awestruck leave and you feel as though you're on the same level, or you feel that your work is compatible to what they're doing? Do you get over that fear factor, that awe, in a short period of time, or do you sometimes sit there and just go, okay, I gotta wait for this to wear off so I can breathe and get going? What's your route to do that?
Well, with Maurice particularly, like I said, I was like pretty much starstruck, and like you're just in awe of him because you know what he's done and what he's come from and his accomplishments. So it was kind of simultaneous, like having that, like, oh man, this is Maurice White. But like, it wasn't like, I didn't keep me from doing my thing and like doing going my all, because I'm down there. Like, this is, each second, each minute is like, I flew down there, and, we only have a certain amount of time to like 2 or 3 days to do these songs. So, I was undaunted, in my approach, even though I was like very starstruck, and so it didn't take, even though I was doing it was simultaneous, he was so nice and down to earth, so it wasn't like nervous. It didn't halter my creativity at all. So it was kind of dual. Dual.
Mm-hmm.
I had both the same thing, but we got right down to it, and it was fine.
So you've always been a sax player since, I guess, elementary school, high school. What was it about the saxophone that attracted you to it, and for you to take it from where you started to where you are now?
Well, Darrell, I say this and everyone asks that, which is fine. And, obviously, how did you start? Like all those questions you just said. And then so, people have heard this verbatim. So once again, my parents, I have a younger brother, Bentley, and we were 7 and 6. And my parents got us in a music youth group in Denver, Colorado, where we're from. And so called the Denver Youth Musicians, Gold Sash Band. And shout out to all the people, all my peeps there that follow me, whatever. And so the first meeting, the director looks at your stature. Everyone's like, either teenager, preteens or like, teenagers. So he looks at your height and whatever, and then he assigns you the instrument. And so basically that's how he picked me to play the sax, pretty much, that long story short. So here I'm playing the sax. So I think it was just the alto sax was the right size. It was, I'm still a little guy, but still that was just pretty cool. And he chose the clarinet for my brother. So basically we're just in youth band and like, for like organized activities. And so instead of going to sports, it was like we were band kids. And, but funny thing, Darrell, like, obviously we could have, some people, some people lose interest after, okay, this is not my thing. Right. I give it up, whatever, like sell their horn, whatever. But, we stayed with it, we had to practice every day, and we put the time in. And so, so by the time junior high came, I was already playing like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years, I think. I could be wrong, somewhere in there.
Right.
So it was all right. I had a good, I had the kind of the fundamentals down of it, still like a budding player, like, intermediate. So in junior high and, getting in the stage band and the jazz thing came through. But those first years was just like concert band, marching band stuff, very fundamental. And so I could have quit in that time, but stayed with it. So anyway, it was like kind of like a rewarding, over those years, it was rewarding because I had those years back. So I put that time in, by the time junior high, high school. Then in high school, got way better from junior high to high school, made a significant leap. And so then high school is like a whole different thing from junior high. There's more, it's bigger, there's more people from across different towns coming to the school, and you're meeting different friends, making different friends and alliances. And so some of my friends, even from other high schools, we formed a band. They formed a band. They wanted me to be in it. I said, I'd love to, whatever. And so we were called Mixed Company, just a hodgepodge of different people. Like we'd have a couple females in it, and white, black, all different like races and ethnicities and religions and stuff. It was just, and so we started playing, like we started in the garage and playing, and we played little parties and stuff, and we just kind of built it up, and the 70s funk, and then we got some jazz in, and so that was like the pretty much got the affinity for the jazz. And that's when I got turned on. My friends, those guys in the band, like said, "Hey Paul, man, there's like the Crusaders, there's like I heard there's always a jazz station in Colorado, like KADX, hearing like named Lonnie Liston Smith, hearing all like Emir Deodato, like Rajesh Rushan, all those classic like jazz, like Ramsey Lewis, stuff like that. Wow, this is like, I was like just eating it up, man, just like soaking it in, and while playing. And so that's pretty much the affinity I grew from it. So it wasn't really from the beginning. It was like, okay, we're kids playing instruments. It's okay, whatever, just going through it. Kind of like your parents, kind of like, all right, be careful what you ask, be careful what you say yes to. So, but you're little kids, like, want to be in a band. Okay, yeah, you want to play music? Yeah, sure. But you don't know all what's entailed, later on. So once you say yes, we kind of held us to it a little bit. So, but it all worked out. So I just me and my brother, we both stayed with it for a long time.
Okay, let's take a listen to the new single and the title of the album, project CD. It's called "It's a Brand New Day" on the Jazz Flyte Podcast with Darrell Scott and Paul Taylor. That's new from Paul Taylor. That is called "It's a Brand New Day." I am Darrell Scott. This is the Jazz Flyte Podcast. Paul, there's a new single out called "It's a Brand New Day." How did that single title come about?
Well, Darrell, it came about through, it didn't come around first, like right at the beginning. Like, I'm going to name this project "It's a Brand New Day." It's basically I was working on all the music, and then henceforth naming all the songs, and then you see what you got. And we both, like, with the producers, we name all the songs in the process. Sometimes the song titles come right away when this is like yada yada yada. It feels like, oh man, that's it, let's do it. It's a lock on that title of a song. And then some of them take a little bit longer, just to like, wow, just to let it sink in and simmer. What it obviously it's what it evokes and what it means to you. And so I definitely, title it with my producers, and then, it's either sometimes they might name it and I'll agree to it, like, oh my God, that's the one, or vice versa. And so, just after everything was pretty much more than 3/4 in, like that title track, what was to come to be the title track was, it had that optimism vibe to it, but it was like all these different elements to it. Like, it's a very, involved song, but it just plays out to me, this is my opinion, of course, it just all plays out so beautifully. It just starts like, like you're just waking up in the morning, you have a nice yawn, you're waking up, you're cracking your eyes open, the sun's coming through your window through the shades, and then you get up, and then a little motif comes in, dun, 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 and you're off on your way and you're on your day. So it just has, and then later on it has like a nice, the verse, it moves off like kind of pedestrian, has like kind of a Latin, but kind of a piano kind of vibe to it, and then later on, toward the end, it like busts out like,
Right.
really, like, you know, the kind of like really funky techno funk, whatever I kind of hear is like a techno funk, and I'm riding the wave out into the day, man. So it just has like a very cool optimism, of your day. It's a brand new day, man. Just go out and make it happen. And then by the end of it, you're just like, you're in your day and you're making stuff happen. And then, so I just kind of drew on that, and that's how it came to be. It's a brand new day.
There are two things I read about you that I can't say not every musician has talked about, not every artist has talked about it. But I want to know how it fits into your life. Number one is golf. It's got to be peaceful. It's got to be quiet. You can't get angry. Um, but it's a frustrating competitive game. How does that affect you from a music standpoint?
Wow. Definitely, like, golf is my favorite sport. Like, growing up, I did try a little football, like in junior high, last year in junior high, first year of high school, because I kind of wanted to be like, like play football, and then very soon after that, like 2 years was enough, and I knew, like, what, that's football's, no, that's not for me, you know. So let's go with this music thing, see how it goes, but so all those years, like, I could have cared less for golf. Watching it, I was like, this is so boring. And so,
Hmm.
but it wasn't until like just like maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, like through my little fame, I have, you meet like different people along the line. And so one of those people was one of, like, you never know the fans you have. So, always like, it's a testament to stay true to yourself and keep on just chugging along. And I was in an airport on the road like several years ago, and some airport, for the flight, get to the gate early, and then this guy like whispers like, "Hey, Paul," like, I thought I heard my name, but then I just sat down. And then this really tall guy comes up and like, "Hey, Paul." Then that's who it was, and so he introduces himself to me, the nicest guy, and like, "Man, I'm a big fan of your music, man. Like, yeah, keep it going, man." Like, he gives me his card, and he was an NBA coach. His name was Mike Woodson. Michael
Yes, I,
Woodson.
I know Mike.
There you go. So at the time, he was coaching the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh my God, that's Michael Woodson. So we just spoke just like barely a minute or so. Then he finished. He went back to his seat, whatever. That was very cool. And then then a couple years later, I think I probably kept maybe called him, just kept in touch. Like, it was good to meet you, man. Whatever. All right, cool. All right, Paul. Like, I'm gonna have like a invitational golf. He has his own invitational golf.
Hmm.
His own invitational, like, charity. But and so by this time he was with the Knicks. He was the head coach for
Yes,
the
head
New York
coach
New York Knicks.
Yes.
So true to his word, he had like he had it in Vegas, his invitational. So he invited me to it. It's like, oh my God. And like, so I went to that. And so, that's, as you can see, as golfing, that's like a whole new world. Like, golf is a whole nother
Yes.
world.
Yes.
And let alone like being like going to one, like a tournament, like being like in a celebrity kind of like,
Hmm.
charity tournament. And so you go there and like, I'm soaking it all up. I'm seeing like these famous people that, kind of more either current athletes or like former athletes, some celebrities, and just regular people. And so, like, I was, there's like the pairing parties. First of all, there's like, you get invited and it's like, oh man, I'm going to this. Like, what's going to entail? Like, just some golfing, whatever. Well, I've never golfed before. Like, I did like maybe once or twice as a kid, whatever, with
Right.
my uncle. But so then, okay, well, I just, I'm a newbie. I'm just go to it and just, have fun,
Have,
whatever.
have
No
fun.
pressure. nothing. I don't know what to expect. But so
Right.
anyway, like, you get invited, go to the pairing party. There's this gigantic pairing party in Vegas at one of the hotels, and it was just like off the chain. They're playing music, and like it's like a party, and it's like a big party. It's like the coolest party ever. There's like it's so cool, and everyone's just walking. All these people like I mentioned, like celebrities and all that, and just regular people just mixing it up and walking around like this is so cool. And then like there'll be a couple like MCs like one guy from ESPN. He's in there, and then like Mike had these two ladies, they're sisters, they're the greatest, and they kind of arrange everything for him. Like one of them were on the mic, and so they're like, "Hey, you guys, we're having this and this, and like here's a pairing party like at the group, groups of four or whatever." And
Right.
so they're announcing all those. There's like copious food all around, really get the best food. There's a DJ playing music or whatever. So then, like the next day, then you're gonna meet like early in the morning at the golf course, and like you get ready. Everyone's in their golf clothes, and like I'm just seeing this is like so cool. Like, so I just embodied, like I just took in all that stuff. This is like it was like a whole new thing for me. It's like I loved it. And so anyway, did the whole thing. It was really fun. Even though I sucked, I was in my thing. I couldn't hit it all, but I still had fun. That the more important thing, I enjoyed it. And so then I did like maybe 4 or 5 in a row. Maybe one year I couldn't make it, so it was the other year on that one. I did at least 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5 of them for him. Nicest guy would have me there. Sometimes I would play my horn. He'd have me play my horn for some little. One time I played the national anthem to get it started for the shotgun
Hmm.
start. And so anyway, Darrell, after the second one, I said like, you know what? I'm tired of being the worst one in my group. So then I
Right.
started. That started
Hmm.
it. So I started taking lessons and the whole thing, and I got the golf bug. So come right here to the current state. I go. I love it. Yeah, but I don't really put a lot of pressure on myself, but I do want to improve because I cannot practice all the time because I have, music comes first, obviously. But
Right.
it's a nice bite, nice get away from golf. I mean, nice get away from just from music. You know, um, just have the silence there. Or sometimes, I've learned to come play my Spotify in the cart. Have that on
Hmm.
there. Or sometimes I'm paired with somebody, they'll have their Bluetooth speaker going. So like, and just like you just get away from it, but it incorporates music too. So it's
Right.
like it's both. But sometimes quiet is good, and then sometimes I'll go with my buddies and just catch up with them, man. And just it's just a great thing to do that. And so hope I'm answering all that. It's a nice, like I say, it's a nice getaway from the music world. But then also you're trying to hit your nice shots, and like I'm deep. I'm no means like really really good. I'm just decent. I'm just a decent
Hmm.
golfer. Sometimes I'll get in the hundreds too, but I've gotten like I've broken 100 now. So, but I enjoy it, and like sometimes I don't lose my ball the whole round, so that's a really good thing right there. So like,
It's
yeah, I'd love to do it, and so just incorporate it. It's just a nice hobby to have.
it's the thing where the little things make a whole lot of difference. The other thing you do is you're I don't know how avid you are, but how many days a week do you work out?
With Darrell, like the same thing. Like it all depends on my schedule and my actually lately I've kind of been slacking a little bit, but I want to get back into it. But I need to work out a little bit more. But I'm going to get back into it. And I also do a little bit of yoga as well. And so it's just like how I can fit it in and make time for it. And thankfully, like during the travels, like when I'm on the road,
Hmm.
I have like I'm playing my alto and soprano. So I got this a couple years ago. I got this beautiful double case for it. It has straps so you can do like a backpack, put
Like
it
a
over my
backpack,
back. Then I
right?
have my arms free, and I and or if I just want to carry it in a handle, just carry it like in one arm or the other. So when you're walking through sometimes you're going through Chicago or like Atlanta, those airports, you got like a long way
Yes,
between
you
the
do.
gate, the terminals. There's like
Right.
so I almost get like a workout just carrying my stuff. Even like then I have to. I check 2 bags, and so I got to wheel those on like my
Right.
instrument case, my electronics. So all in all, that's like a workout in itself. It's like a long stage workout. So
Right.
usually when I get back from the road or from any even like a one nighter, we have to leave like the night before. You play that the next night, then come home the next night. So it's ended up being like 3 days. Unless it's California, you just go up and back same day. But even regardless, when you get back, you're kind of like, it's a long day, but a short night. You get to get up
Right.
early and get on your plane. So you're kind of feeling it. It's like everything encompasses into like a long range workout. And plus I'm playing my lungs. I'm playing my horn. Which comes naturally, but like you're breathing it. You got to hold your phrases and all that. It's like a long-term workout either way.
Okay. So, lastly, everybody out there now wants to follow you, find out everything that you're doing. What is your social media presence?
I'm pretty much on all the socials. I don't do TikTok per se, but the ones I'm on, I do have TikTok though, but I don't really go on TikTok.
Right.
But I have Facebook, Instagram, X, which is formerly Twitter. I have and LinkedIn. I think those are the main ones. But also, Spotify.
Do you have your own webpage?
Obviously, definitely have my own webpage, paultaylorsax.com.
Okay.
And that's pretty much everyone. When everyone wants to have information, I go like, you know what? I don't have all the dates on top of my. You're gonna be in so and so.
Right.
You're gonna be in so and so. Check my website. I'm not gonna like you just check there. So I'm on all the socials. I do my. I don't have anyone do my. I don't have anyone do acting as me. I do all the stuff my same. Sometimes I'm on all the time. Sometimes if I don't feel like it, I give it a couple days. Like I'll get back or whatever. Like maybe once a day I'll catch on. So I just take it all in stride. And, it's fascinating how much you can spend a lot of time on there and
Yes.
and just like surfing, I'm there for I like to read the comments and stuff and like other people's stuff. There's like, and see the social media, whatever people are writing about and stuff. And like, oh man, what are they going to say about that? Let's see what the comments are. And you see an argument on there. You can't help but watch it just as a bystander, all that stuff. But definitely, I love the social media. Sometimes it can kind of be, I would say, obviously, people know this. You can spend a lot of time on your phone and stuff. So that's the world. That's the way the world is now. So you just embrace it and just kind of go forward with it.
Paul, it's a pleasure to have spoken to you. There's a lot of information you have, a lot of good stuff going on, and I need to keep up with your career. Whenever you have something new out, please include Jazz Flyte on your mailing list so we can post it on our social media. You've got one more four-legged fan here. He has never been this active with anybody. But he just moved and now he has to shake himself. But he is sat here and he watches what goes on.
Yeah, right on.
I'll see if I can get him over here. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. Our guest today was Paul Taylor. If you really enjoy what we're doing, like this conversation and many other conversations that we have, please hit the subscribe button at the end, and you will get to see all other 130 plus interviews that we have done. And occasionally you might see a picture of, I call him Brody the Wonder Dog. He's now
Brody.
He's too funny today. But Paul, once again, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, please join us again next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Jazz Flyte Podcast. I hope you enjoy these stories and soulful melodies that groove through the doors of time. If you want to stay connected with the latest updates and episodes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'm Darrell Scott.